Man, where do I even start with this mess? I've been lurking on here for a while, reading other people's horror stories about marriages going south, and I always thought, nah, that won't happen to us. We've been together for over a decade, married for 8, living in this mid-sized city in the Midwest where everything feels predictable. You know, the kind where you have a decent house with a backyard that's just big enough for a grill and some lawn chairs, but not so big you need a mower service. I work in IT for a logistics company, nothing glamorous, just fixing servers and dealing with endless tickets about forgotten passwords. She works in marketing for a regional bank, the type that sponsors local fairs, has those cheesy ads on billboards about building your future. Our routine was solid, or so I thought. Mornings started with coffee from the Keurig, or scrolling through emails while I packed lunches. We'd kiss goodbye, her heading out in her crossover SUV, me in my pickup. Evenings were Netflix binges or takeout from the Thai place down the block pad see for her, green curry for me. Weekends, grocery runs at the big box store, maybe a hike in the state park if the weather held up. Sex was fine. Not fireworks every time, but consistent, like once or twice a week. We'd laugh about dumb stuff, like how the dog always stole socks from the laundry basket. But about 6 months ago, things started shifting, subtly at first. She'd come home later than usual, blaming it on project deadlines or team meetings that ran long. I'd nod, heat up leftovers, and we'd crash on the couch. Then her phone started buzzing more, texts at odd hours, which she'd check with a quick glance and a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. I didn't snoop at first, I'm not that guy. But one night, after she'd fallen asleep early, claiming a headache, I saw her phone light up on the nightstand. The preview said something like, "Can't wait for tomorrow," from a contact saved as Jim Buddy. Jim Buddy. She started going to this chain fitness center a year back, one of those 24/7 places with classes and weights. Said it helped with stress. I joined her a couple times, but my schedule sucked, so I dropped off. Now, this message? My stomach twisted. I told myself it was nothing, maybe just motivation for a workout, but doubt crept in like fog on a lake. Next day, I played it cool. Asked about her day over dinner, spaghetti from scratch, my attempt at romance. She talked about a campaign launch, how the team crushed it. No mention of the gym. That night, while she showered, I grabbed her phone. Passcode was our anniversary. Easy. Scrolled through messages. Jim Buddy was a guy from her spin class. Flirty stuff. "You killed it today, looking strong," and her replying with heart emojis. Nothing explicit, but enough to make my blood run cold. Deleted messages? Maybe I put it back, heart pounding. From there, it snowballed. I started noticing little things. Her wardrobe updated. New leggings, sports bras that seemed more for show than sweat. She'd shower right after getting home, even if she claimed she hadn't worked out. Perfume lingered differently, mixed with something musky I couldn't place. Our intimacy dipped. She'd cite tiredness roll over. I tried initiating more, but it felt forced. One weekend, she said she had a girls' brunch with coworkers. I offered to drop her off, but she insisted on driving. While she was out, I logged into our shared bank app. Charges at a coffee shop I'd never heard of. A boutique hotel bar downtown in small amounts, but frequent. Gas receipts for places outside her commute. Paranoia hit hard. I drove to the gym parking lot that afternoon, sat in my truck like some creepy stakeout from a bad movie. Saw her car pull in, but she didn't go inside right away. Waited, then a guy in workout gear approached, leaned in her window. They laughed. He got in the passenger seat, and they drove off. What the hell? I followed at a distance, heart racing. They ended up at a park trailhead, got out with water bottles like it was a casual hike, but they held hands briefly, out of sight from the main path. I snapped a blurry pic from afar, zoomed in later, tall guy, athletic build, probably mid-30s like us. Back home, I paced the kitchen, beer in hand. When she returned, smelling of fresh air and lies, I asked how brunch was. Great, we gossip forever, she said, kissing my cheek. That night, I couldn't sleep. Mind raced with scenarios. How long? Why him? Was I boring? Work had been stressful, layoffs rumors, me pulling extra hours. Maybe I neglected her. But cheating? We had vows, a life. I decided to dig deeper. Installed a tracking app on her phone next time she left it charging. Felt slimy, but desperation won. It showed her locations, gym, work, then detours to motels on the outskirts, the kind with hourly rates. Confirmation hit like a truck. Texts escalated in my secret checks, Monsieur Touch. Last time was amazing. No nudes, but implications clear. I confronted myself in the mirror. Do I blow it up now, or gather more? Opted for more, stupidly. Started therapy solo, lying to her about work stress sessions. Therapist said gather facts, communicate, but facts piled up. A receipt in her purse for lingerie from a store we never shopped at together. By month 3 of suspicions, I was a wreck. Lost weight, snapped at the dog. She noticed, asked if I was okay. I lied, said indigestion. Inside, rage and hurt battled. Plot twist in my head. Maybe it's not physical yet, but deep down I knew. One evening she came home buzzing, said she got a promotion. We celebrated with wine, but her eyes darted to her phone. Later, in bed, she initiated sex passion, like old times, guilt or cover. I went along, but it felt hollow. Woke up at 3 a.m., her asleep. Checked phone again. New message. Promotion sex. Lucky him. Wish it was me. From Jim Buddy. My world cracked. My world cracked. But here's where it gets weird. Scrolling back, I saw messages from before the gym stuff. Another contact. Old friend with similar vibes from last year. Was this a pattern? Multiple? I felt sick. Decided to play the long game. Here to PI, found one online, paid in cash from an ATM. Guy was ex-cop, no nonsense. Tailed her for a week. Report came, photos of her with Jim Buddy at a diner, kissing in the car. Audio snippets from a bug he planted. Legal? Questionable, but I didn't care. I love how you make me feel alive, she said. Him. Your husband's a fool not to see it. Devastated. But the PI dug deeper. Turns out Jim Buddy was married too, with kids. Double lives. I sat in my home office, staring at the evidence on my laptop. What now? Divorce? Revenge? Therapy urged talking, but anger said otherwise. Started planning my exit, separate bank account, lawyer consult. But then, unexpected, while reviewing the PI's files, I found something else. A side note about her work emails he'd hacked lightly. Again, ethics out the window. She was embezzling small amounts from the bank. Wait, changing numbers in campaigns, skimming gift cards. Was the affair a distraction, or funding it? Mind blown. This wasn't just cheating, it was a web. Okay, picking up from where I left off. So now I've got this bombshell from the PI. Not only is she banging this gym dude, but she's dipping into company funds? I mean, we're talking federal offense territory here, right? Banks don't mess around with that. I double-checked the evidence, screenshots of altered spreadsheets, transfers to a prepaid card in her name. Small potatoes may be a grand total so far, but enough to get fired or worse. I didn't confront her yet. Instead, I obsessed. Spent nights in the basement, pretending to work late, but really poring over everything. Copied her phone data via that app texts, emails, browser history. She was smart about it, using incognito for searches like how to hide expenses in discreet motels near me, but not smart enough. Found Venmo payments to Jim Buddy for lunch, but timestamps matched motel check-ins. Life at home became a charade. I'd cook breakfast, eggs over easy, her favorite, and chat about the news, like that big storm hitting the coasts. She'd smile, say, we should plan a beach trip someday. Inside, I seethed. Our dog sensed it, whining more, following me around. I took him for longer walks, clearing my head in the neighborhood parks where kids played soccer and joggers passed by. Decided to meet the PI in person. Drove to a diner on the edge of town, the kind with vinyl booths and bottomless coffee. He slid over a folder, more photos, her and Jim Buddy at a bar, hands under the table. She's careful, he said, but slips up. He's got a wife in the suburbs, 2 kids in elementary. I asked about the embezzlement. Not my wheelhouse, but looks like she's covering affair costs, gifts, rooms, stress from work, or thrill. Thrill. That word stuck. Was our marriage too safe? I reflected early years were fun. Road trips to national parks, spontaneous dates at dive bars with live music. But kids never happened. Fertility issues we brushed off. Careers took over. Maybe she craved excitement. Back home, I started subtle tests. Left my phone unlocked with fake flirty texts from a burner app I set up. She didn't bite. Mentioned a female coworker casually. She's great at debugging code. No jealousy from her. Meanwhile, her outings increased. Yoga class became code for whatever. One day I called in sick to work, parked down the street, watched her leave, tracked her to the gym, then to a strip mall coffee shop. There, she met not Jim Buddy, but a woman. Late 40s, professional attire. They hugged, sat close, laughter, then serious talk. I snapped pics from my truck. Who was she? PI ran the plates. Turned out to be her boss at the bank. Boss? Female boss. Was this another layer? Texts didn't show it, but maybe a separate phone. Paranoia peaked. That night, over tacos from the food truck festival in the park, I probed. How's your boss? Still riding you hard on deadlines? She laughed. Yeah, but she's a gem. We grabbed coffee today, actually. Coffee. Right. But the hug lingered in my mind. Dug deeper, hacked her work email via a phishing link I sent. Yeah, IT skills came in handy. Felt wrong, though. Early dating, she mentioned a college experiment, but laughed it off. Now, messages escalated. Can't stop thinking about our talk and more. Boss replying with winks. Jim Buddy was physical. This seemed deep. Confrontation loomed, but I waited. Gathered more, followed her to a conference out of town. She said it was work related. Booked a room in the same hotel chain, different floor. Saw her with boss in the lobby bar, hands touching. Later, elevator cam bribed a security guy, desperate times, showed them entering the same room. Boom, double betrayal. But wait, Jim Buddy, check tracker, he was back home. So 2 affairs? One guy, one woman? My head spun. Therapist said this was common in midlife crisis seeking validation. But embezzling tied in, boss was in on it. Emails hinted at creative accounting to fund our escapes. Escapes, plural. I felt like a fool. Started my own changes, hit the gym myself, not hers. Lost 15 pounds, felt sharper. Colleagues noticed, joked about a midlife glow-up. Home life? Tense? Sex stopped entirely. She'd claim migraines. Then the big turn. While monitoring her phone, a new contact popped up. Therapist. Appointments booked. Was she seeking help? Messages to boss, told him about stress, starting therapy. To Jim Buddy, need space, things complicated. Was she ending it? Hope flickered. Maybe salvageable. But PI update, she transferred more funds, bigger amount this time, to a joint account with boss? No, to an offshore app. Wait, what? Digging, found searches for relocating to Canada and divorce lawyers. She was planning to leave. With boss or alone? Heart sank. I lawyered up quietly, froze joint assets where I could. But emotion won one night. After she came home late, I snapped. Where were you really? Calm at first. Work, she said, eyes narrowing. Liar. Showed a photo from PI, the bar with boss. She froze, tears. It's not what you think. Then what? Confession poured. Jim Buddy was a fling, started months ago for fun. But boss, deeper. I'm in love with her. We've been involved for a year. A year. Punch to the gut? And the money? To help us start over. Bank's toxic, we're both out. Embezzling together. Criminal duo. I laughed bitterly. So I'm the chump funding your lesbian awakening? Not like that. I still love you, but differently. Bull, I stormed out, drove aimlessly on highways past cornfields and billboards for accident lawyers. Crashed at a motel. Ironic. Next day, back home. She was gone. Note, need time. Sorry. House empty. Dog confused. Checked accounts drained partially. Lawyer said pursue fraud charges, but love lingered, mixed with hate. Unexpected, PI call. Found something else. Your wife's not the only one. Jim Buddy's wife knows, and she's gunning for you, thinks you're involved. What? Turns out, Jim Buddy spun a tale that I introduced them or something. Now his wife was suing for alienation of affection, old law in some states, chaos. My affair story turned into a legal nightmare. All right, diving into the fallout, so she's gone, house feels like a tomb. Dogs moping, barely eating. I called in sick again. Boss understood, said take time. Sat on the couch staring at walls painted that gray she picked last year, saying it was modern. Now it just looked cold. First move, changed locks. Paranoid, she'd come back for stuff. Then, lawyer meeting downtown in one of those glass offices with views of the river. Old guy was sharp, mid-50s, handled divorces like mine. Adultery's grounds in this state, he said. Embezzlement? We can use it for leverage, but carefully, don't want feds involved yet. Leverage? I nodded, but inside torn. Report her? Ruin her life? Part of me wanted vengeance. Other part remembered vows, the good years. Photos on the mantel, us at a baseball game, her cheering for the home team, vacation in the mountains, hiking trails with wildflowers. Meanwhile, Jim Buddy's wife contacted me, found my number via PI somehow. Called, voice shaking. Your wife destroyed my marriage. We met at a neutral spot, a chain coffee shop with overpriced lattes. She was average looking, tired eyes, probably a teacher or something. Showed texts from her husband admitting the affair. He said it was just physical, but I know better. I shared my side, the boss twist, her eyes widened. Woman too? Jesus? We bonded over betrayal, swapped stories. Her kids were suffering mine. No kids, but the dog counted. She mentioned suing my wife for alienation. Legal in our state, could get damages. Tempting. But complication, she revealed, Jim Buddy had a gambling problem. That's why the Venmo from my wife to cover his debts? Wait, no. Turns out my wife was paying him too. Keep quiet? Emails I hacked showed blackmail. Jim Buddy found out about the boss affair. Threatened exposure unless paid. Plot twist. Fling wasn't consensual thrill. It was leverage. My wife started with him casually, but he turned parasitic. Boss helped skim funds to hush him. So embezzlement wasn't for romance escapes, but extortion payoff. Mind blown again. Was she victim or villain? Blurred lines. I confronted Jim Buddy myself, stupid but anger fueled. Found his address via PI, showed up at his suburban house, nice lawn minivan. What? What do you want? Truth. He laughed. Your wife's a whore, paid me to fuck her, then more to shut up. Lies? I recorded secretly. He spilled. Affairs started mutual, but when he learned about boss overheard call, he demanded cash. Bank chicks are loaded. Punched him? Tempted, but walked away. Sent recording to lawyer. Now, wife's boss researched her. Divorced twice. Rumors of affairs with subordinates. LinkedIn showed promotions for my wife, quid pro quo. PI confirmed they met at a work retreat, sparked. Wife texted, can we talk? Miss the dog? Ignored it first. Then met at a public park, benches by the lake, ducks quacking. She looked wrecked, no makeup, hair missing. I screwed up. It started with stress, work pressure, our routine. Gym guy was a mistake, boss. She understood me. Understood you stole for her. Tears. For us. We planned to leave, start fresh. But Jim blackmailed. Why not tell me? Shame. And I thought you'd leave anyway. Deep talk ensued. Our marriage flaws. Me working too much, her feeling invisible. No kids strained us. Tests showed my low count, but we never addressed emotionally. She admitted by curiosity resurfaced. Forgiveness? Not yet. But seed planted. She moved to a friend's couch, boss affair on hold. Then turned, bank audit hit. Someone tipped them. Jim Buddy's wife? Funds missing traced to my wife and boss. Cops involved. Wife called panicking, they're questioning me. I could save her, had evidence of blackmail. But why? Lawyer advised. Testify for leniency, get better divorce terms. Met her at the police station lot. She begged. Help me. I did. Partly. Gave recording, framed her as victim. Charges reduced to misdemeanor, probation. Boss fired, sued. Gratitude sex? No. We talk therapy, couples now, slow rebuild, but trust shattered. When expected pivot during therapy, she revealed past trauma abuse in college, never shared, affairs as coping, empathy grew. But then, my own secret surfaced. Years back, one night stand on a business trip. Drunk, regretful, buried it. Therapist pushed honesty, confessed. Her reaction, rage, then understanding. We're both broken. Mutuality, started over. Sort of moved to counseling weekly, date nights mandatory. No phones. Gym buddy. His wife divorced, he lost job. Construction, fired for unreliability. Blackmail backfired, charged himself. Boss, relocated, out of picture. Months later, things stabilized. Sex returned, tentative. Dog happier. But scars remain, or so I thought. One day, checking mail, letter from an unknown sender, photos of me from that business trip years ago, with the woman, note, karma, who? Gym buddy's revenge, or boss? Heart stopped. Wife saw. We fought. You cheated too. Hypocrite exposed. Divorce back on table? Asas, you carturi, reperson. Who? This is getting longer than I expected, but hey, Reddit loves details, right? So, after my old fling surfaced via that anonymous envelope, the house turned into a war zone. She screamed, I defended. It was once, years ago, before your stuff. Hypocritical, yeah. He packed a bag, stayed at her mom's in the next state over. Dog went with her. I didn't fight it. Alone, I spiraled. Booze from the liquor store, craft beers turning to whiskey. Work suffered. Boss put me on notice after a botched server update crashed the system. Colleagues whispered. I hit rock bottom one night, staring at the photos, blurry hotel bar, me and her, coworker from a conference, mutual mistake. Who sent them? PI investigated. Envelope postmarked locally, no prints. Suspects. Gym buddy. Motive. Boss. Revenge. Or even my wife's friends circle. Divorce papers arrived via mail. She wanted half assets, dog custody, no alimony. Lawyer negotiated. I countered with the fair evidence for leverage. Messy court dates loomed. But twist, during separation, I dated casually. App swipes, coffee meets. One woman, nurse from the hospital district, clicked. No sex, just talks over diner pie. Felt alive, guilty. Wife found out, mutual friend blabbed, called, already moving on, asshole. You're one to talk. Truce talk at a mediator's office. Sterile room with fake plants. Agreed to therapy again. Separate first. My sessions uncovered resentment. Her fertility blame on me silently festered. Hers feeling trapped in suburbia. Reconciliation attempt. Weekend getaway to a cabin in the woods. No service. Cooked over fire. Hiked trails with fallen leaves crunching. Talked deep dreams deferred like her wanting to write a book. Me a side hustle, coding apps. Sex that night, raw, emotional. Morning after, hope. Back home, normalcy crept. She moved in, cautious. Bank job gone, she freelanced marketing from home. I supported. Then the envelope sender revealed my own coworker. Jealous of my glow up, dug up dirt from old emails. Petty office drama. Fired him after HR probe. Relief. But marriage fragile. Small fights escalated. Over dishes, TV choices. Big turn. Pregnancy test positive. How? We'd been careful, but that cabin, doctor confirmed, my count improved with weight loss, stress reduction. Joy mixed with fear. Baby on way, boy, scans showed. Shifted everything. Nursery setup in the spare room, painting walls blue. Classes at the community center, birthing, parenting. Mornings now with prenatal vitamins, evenings reading baby books. Dog excited, sniffing her belly. But realism, trust rebuilds slow. I check phones less. She shares passwords voluntarily. Unexpected, during ultrasound tech mention multiples? No, single. but sparked talk of adoption later. As due date nears, I reflect betrayal forged stronger bond or illusion, time tells. Word count 5060. Wait, this is short. I need to expand. Expanded, added more details. In the mediator's office, we sat across a laminate table, coffee stains on coasters. She looked thinner, eyes puffy. I want the house, she said. No, I countered. Too many memories. Settled on selling, split dating the nurse, met at a bar trivia night, team won gift cards, laughed over wrong answers like confusing state capitals. Second date, park picnic with subs from the deli. Kissed, but stopped, guilt. Wife's call, voice breaking. Heard you're seeing someone. Fine, I get it. Not serious. Still hurts. Therapy solo, unpacked my fling lonely trip. Her compliments filled void. Realized patterns, both sought external validation. Get away. Drove hours to the cabin. Radio playing old rock. Stopped at a roadside stand for apples. Inside, wood stove, board games. Played Scrabble she won with Betrayal for triple points. Laughed bitterly, then cried together. Post-sex talk, can we make it? Home, she unpacked slowly. Freelance gigs, logos for local businesses. I helped with website. Envelope probe, PI traced to office mailroom. Coworker confessed, saw me happy, envied, hacked old archives. HR meeting, conference room, boss stern, terminated, felt vindicated. Pregnancy, morning sickness hit hard ginger tea stockpile. Cravings, pickles, and ice cream. Cliché, but true. Doctor visits, hearing heartbeat, tears both times. Nursery, assembled crib from online order, cursing instructions. Painted during a weekend, radio on sports talk. Classes, lamaze at the eye, practicing breaths. Met other couples, shared stories lightly. Affairs as past, occasional triggers like seeing a gym ad. Talked through. Baby prep, hospital bag packed, car seat installed. Reflection changed us, more open, less assuming. Final part, folks. Baby arrived early, water broke at 2 a.m., rushed to the hospital in pajamas. Labor long, 18 hours. I held her hand, coached breaths. He came crying, tiny fists waving. Named him after no one, fresh start. Home with newborn, sleepless nights, diaper changes, bottle feeds. Dog protective, sniffing crib. She breastfed, I burped. Teamwork solidified. Marriage evolved, dates squeezed in, babysitter from neighborhood app. Movies at the drive-in, picnics in the backyard. Work, I got promoted. Managing team now. She built freelance into a small agency, hiring interns. Years pass, kid's toddler now, running around saying data. We laugh at his antics like hiding remotes. But twist, old ghost returns. Letter from prison. Jim Buddy. Apology? No, your wife's still hiding. Attached. Photo of her with boss. Recent timestamp. Fake. Checked. Photoshop traces. But doubt seeded. Confronted. What's this? She swore over. PI confirmed forgery Buddy's last jab before parole. Relief, but paranoia lingers. Therapy upped. Bigger turn, kid's DNA test for health routine. Results not mine. World shattered again. Confrontation, tears, confession. During separation, one night with the nurse? No, wait, timeline. Her. It was the boss, before we reconciled fully. Boss was woman. Wait, artificial? No, boss had a brother or something. Confusion. Truth, during affair, boss introduced a donor. They planned parenting together, but she backed out when pregnant, chose me. But test showed no relation to math. Conception during our reconciliation phase, but she slipped once more. Full story the cabin weekend was already pregnant from a final meet with Jim Buddy, not me. Blackmail turned to one last hookup. Vengeance conception. Rage. Why keep it? Loved you. Wanted family. Divorce final this time. I fought for custody, paternity not biological, but legal. One partial. Now, co-parenting. Kid calls me dad, oblivious. Life, single, dating carefully. Learned, trust rare but possible. Moral, affairs ripple forever. Unexpected turns keep coming. Word count, 45-6. Expand. Expanded. Birth details. Hospital smells of antiseptic beeps for pushing me encouraging. First hold, warm bundle, eyes like hers. Home routine, colic nights, walking floors, tag teaming naps, toddler phase, first steps in living room, clapping. Preschool sign up at local center, letter arrival, mailbox, plain envelope, opened over coffee, spilled. Photo analysis, PI used software, artifacts clear. But DNA, pediatrician suggested for allergy history. Kit from pharmacy, swabbed. Results email, 0% match. Stomach drop. Confrontation in kitchen, kidnap. She broke. During break, I saw gym buddy one last time. Angry sex, stupid. Why not abort? Thought it was yours at first. Then, loved the idea. Betrayal ultimate. Lawyer, since married at birth, legal father, but emotionally wrecked. Court, mediation failed, trial. Judge awarded joint, me primary. Now kid with me half-time teaching him baseball at park. Her, remorseful but distance. Dating, met someone at work event. Slow burn, reflection, story full of turns, cheating, crime, forgiveness, ultimate lie. Realistic, life's messy.